A kangaroo has large, powerful back legs and small front legs. It also has a long, thick, powerful tail. A kangaroo can fight with its front legs and balance on its strong tail. A kangaroo can jump about 25 feet or 8 metres. He may go up to 40 miles or 64 kilometres an hour. Some kangaroos live in trees. Baby kangaroos are called joeys. The mother carries the baby in a pocket or pouch for weeks.
Kangaroo reads k, k, k. K reads k, k, k.
A kangaroo from Kalamazoo kicked up his heels and played a kazoo.
Kiki Kangaroo was usually cheerful. Most of the time he was humming, smiling, and just generally happy. It was not often you could see Kiki Kangaroo without his smile. He was cheerful and happy, and all his friends could count on him to cheer them up. Kiki Kangaroo lived in a town that had a funny name, Kalamazoo. Can you say Kalamazoo? I think you can if you try it. Let's say it slowly, one part at a time. Listen to me. Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo. That's right. Kiki Kangaroo lived in Kalamazoo, and many times you could see him hopping along with his cheery smile. Some people thought it was funny that he was always happy. They thought kangaroos should be quiet and serious. They would say, "That kooky Kiki Kangaroo, he just smiles and sings all the time. How can he stay so happy?" Most of the time it was easy for Kiki Kangaroo to be happy because that's the way he was. One day, however, Kiki Kangaroo woke up and things just didn't look right or feel right. The sky, instead of being a pretty, bright blue, was grey. The world, instead of seeming a happy place to him, seemed dull and dreary. His mouth, instead of smiling all by itself, seemed to turn down at the corners. Even his happy hop seemed to have left him. He walked slowly like everybody else, only maybe a little slower. His gay and happy little hum was gone. He found himself sighing sad sighs instead. "Oh dear," said Kiki Kangaroo. "What is wrong with the world today?" He trudged down the street of Kalamazoo, feeling sad and looking as if he had lost his last friend. Poor Kiki Kangaroo. A few blocks down the street he met a small kangaroo. At least Kiki Kangaroo thought it was a kangaroo. Kiki Kangaroo couldn't really be sure because it seemed all he could see was a huge mouth. And from that mouth were coming the loudest, saddest howls you have ever heard. The little kangaroo wasn't just sad, he was terribly, terribly unhappy. "Oh dear," sighed Kiki Kangaroo. "What is the matter with you, little kangaroo?" The little kangaroo howled even louder. "I'm so unhappy," he howled. "Nobody will play with me. I can't hop as well as a kangaroo should. My big brother can't play with me, and..." The small kangaroo had to stop and sob a few times before he could go on. "I can't play my new kazoo." Kiki Kangaroo felt concern for the small kangaroo. The small kangaroo was so sad, and there really wasn't anything about which to be sad. What could Kiki Kangaroo do to cheer up the small kangaroo? "Look, little kangaroo, watch me kick my heels." Kiki Kangaroo gave a mighty bound clapped his heels together with a resounding click, and came down to earth again. The small kangaroo didn't stop crying, but he wasn't crying quite so loudly now. "If your brothers can't play with you, I will." "That's all right," said the small kangaroo, sniffing. "You don't have to play with me. It's just that... And I think you can hop perfectly well. Here, try it with me." The little kangaroo watched carefully as Kiki Kangaroo hopped, and then the little kangaroo hopped. Really, his hopping wasn't bad at all. "Now," Kiki Kangaroo said, wiping the tears from the cute little kangaroo's eyes, "let's see about that kazoo. Where is it?" "Here. I can't make a sound on it." Kiki Kangaroo took out his own kazoo. "Did you know you are supposed to hum cheerfully into a kazoo? That is what makes the music. Here, let me show you." Kiki Kangaroo began a happy tune on his kazoo, and before you could say kazoo kazam, they were both kicking their heels together and playing a merry tune on their kazoos. "Oh, I feel much better," said the little kangaroo when the song was finished. "So do I," said Kiki Kangaroo. He realised that it was true. The world, instead of seeming dull and dreary, was a happy place again. His mouth was turned up at the corners, his happy hop was back, even the sky, which had been so grey, seemed a brighter blue. He had cheered up the small kangaroo, and while he was doing it, he cheered up himself. So many times, boys and girls, when we try to help other people, we find that we are happier. If we think only about ourselves, we may be sad and depressed. If we act cheerful, we will help other people, and soon we will be cheerful ourselves. Kiki Kangaroo was usually very, happy, wasn't he? Kiki Kangaroo was from what town? Kalamazoo. One day Kiki Kangaroo awoke feeling very different. Tell me how he felt. That's right. He felt sad and different and just kind of strange, didn't he? He felt like things just weren't the way they really were. They didn't feel quite right. What was the matter with the small kangaroo? Yes, he didn't have anyone to play with. He didn't think he could hop very well, and he didn't know how to play his kazoo. Poor little thing. What did Kiki Kangaroo do to cheer up the small kangaroo? Yes, he played with him. He reminded him how to hop, and he showed him how to play the kazoo. Did these things make the small kangaroo happy again? Oh, yes, indeed they did. And who else was cheered up? That's right, Kiki the kangaroo. If we think only of ourselves, what happens? Yes, we become sad and selfish and self-centered, don't we? How can we be cheerful? Yes, by thinking of other people and behaving in a cheerful way. Soon we will cheer up ourselves, even if we don't feel like it.
Listen as I tell you a word. Can you hear the k sound? Keep. Can you hear the k sound in the word keep? Yes, keep has the k sound. Back. Can you hear the k sound in the word back? Yes, back has the k sound. Each. Can you hear the k sound in the word each? No, each doesn't have the k sound. Tea. Can you hear the k sound in the word tea? No, tea doesn't have the k sound. Coke. Can you hear the k sound in the word Coke? Yes, Coke has the K sound. Trick. Can you hear the K sound in the word trick? Yes, trick has the K sound. Juice. Can you hear the K sound in the word juice? No, juice doesn't have the K sound. Blind. Can you hear the K sound in the word blind? No, blind doesn't have the K sound. King. Can you hear the K sound in the word king? Yes, king has the K sound. Neck. Can you hear the K sound in the word neck? Yes, neck has the K sound. Listen as I read a sentence. Can you find the word that has the K sound? I am happy when you are back. Can you find the word that has the K sound? I am happy when you are back. That's right. Back has the K sound. Fruit is better than cake. Can you find the word that has the K sound? Fruit is better than cake. That's right. Cake has the K sound. Sometimes friends trick us. Can you find the word that has the K sound? Sometimes friends trick us. That's right. Trick has the K sound. Jesus is our King. Can you find a word that has the K sound? Jesus is our King. That's right. King has the K sound. A giraffe has a long neck. Can you find the word that has the K sound? A giraffe has a long neck. That's right. Giraffe has the K sound. Let's blend these sounds. K, A, K, A, K. K, A, K, A, K. K, A, K, A, K. K, E, K, E, key. K, E, K, E, K. K, I, K, I, K. K, I, K, I, K. K, O, K, O, ko. K, A, K, A, ka. Ache, ache, ache. Ack, ack, ack. Ack, ack, ack. Eek, eek, eek. Eck, eck, eck. Ike, ike, ike. Ick, ick, ick. Ock, ock, ock. Awk, awk, awk. Let's blend these sounds into words. Bake, 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 bake. Rake, 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 rake. Ache, ache, fake, fake. Break, 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 break. St, ache, st, ache, steak, steak. St, ache, st, ache, steak, steak. Ache, eek, beak, beak. Eek, eek, seek, seek. Eek, eek, meek, meek. Like, 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 like. bike, 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 bike. Kind, 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 kind. Kite, 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 kite. Ink, 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 ink. Ink, ink, sink, sink. Ink, ink, link, link. Milk, 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 milk. Silk, 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 silk. Kid, 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 kid.
Bear ye one another's burdens. Galatians 6, verse 2a. What does the word burden mean? Yes, it means a trouble or hard thing. The Bible verse tells us that we are to bear one another's burdens. Now tell me what the word bear means. This is a word that has several meanings that you already know. A bear is an animal, but that's not what it means in this Bible verse. Bear can mean uncovered, but that is not what bear means in this verse. Who wants to guess what bear means in the scripture verse, bear ye one another's burdens? Bear means to carry. Carry one another's burdens. This Bible verse tells us that we are to help each other when we have troubles. If you know someone who is sad, you should try to help them and be happy again. We should try to help each other. In Bible times, the army of Syria came to war against the people of Israel, who were God's people. When the Syrian army went home, they took with them a little girl, a little maid of Israel. The captain took her home with him to be a servant to his wife. This little girl must have been lonely. She was far from home in the house of the foreign army captain. It seemed she was a happy and good servant, though. She knew the Lord, and I'm sure she prayed to him and depended on him to help her. Her master, the army officer Naaman, came down with a terrible disease called leprosy. The little girl had a tender heart, and she was sad to see Naaman ill. She remembered her home country and the prophet Elisha. God had used Elisha to work some wonderful miracles. She knew God could do anything. God could make Naaman well again. The little maid really cared about her master and mistress. That's a big word which means lady of the house. And she wanted to be helpful. She said to her mistress one day, I wish my master Naaman were with the prophet that is in Samaria, my home country. He would make him well of his disease. Naaman told the king of Syria about this prophet in Israel that the little maid had said could heal Naaman's leprosy. The king wanted Naaman to be healed. The king said, I will send a letter to the king of Israel. Go, Naaman, and see if this prophet can do as the little maid says. We all love you and want you well again. So Naaman started out. He took with him gifts of silver and gold and beautiful clothing. Naaman's king sent a letter along to the king of Israel saying, I am sending this letter to you with the captain of my army, Naaman. I want you to make him well from his leprosy. The king of Syria seemed to think the king of Israel could heal Naaman. He didn't know that it would have to be God who healed and that God would work through his servant Elisha. The king of Israel knew he could not heal anyone. He tore his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man sends me someone to heal of his leprosy? Just look at this. He just wants to stir up a quarrel with me. Someone went quickly and told the prophet Elisha that the army captain from Syria was at the king's house, wanting to be healed of his leprosy. Elisha sent word to the king, "Why are you tearing your clothes? Send that man to me, and he will know that God has a prophet in our country." The message came to Naaman, "It is not the king you should see, it is the prophet Elisha." So Naaman, with his horses and his chariot and his servants, hurried over to Elisha's house. Naaman was a very important man, important enough to be welcomed at the king's house. Now he had to go to visit some prophet. He was sure that Elisha would hurry out and make him welcome. But Elisha did not even come out to meet Naaman. Elisha sent a messenger to Naaman with these instructions: "Go and wash in the Jordan River 7 times, and then you will be clean and healthy again." Naaman did not like that. He was angry. He said, "I thought the prophet could come out and see me and call on the name of the Lord his God and strike his hand over the place and make me well again. Why would I have to go to a river here in Israel? We have better rivers than this in my country. Why can't I just go and wash in one of them and be clean?" He was so angry he turned away and started to go home again. Now Naaman did not know the Lord, and he did not know how God works. Naaman was so angry he might not have obeyed, but the servants who were with him wanted to help too. They wanted Naaman to be well again. So they said, "My father, if that prophet had asked you to do something great, something really hard, would you have done it?" "Of course," Naaman said. "You know I am strong and brave." "Well, much easier it would be then for you to do what the prophet has said. All he said for you to do was to wash and be clean. Why don't you try it?" Naaman saw this was right. He knew the little maid and those other servants all wanted to help him, so he decided he would try what the prophet said. He went down to the Jordan River and into the water. He dipped once, but he was not well when he came up. The prophet had told him to dip 7 times, and that was what he had to do. Down he went again. Still the leprosy was there. Down again and again and again. He went under the water 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times. As he came up out of the water the last time, everyone was watching. Was he healed, or did he still have leprosy? His skin was clear. He was well. The ugly spots of the disease were gone. His skin was smooth and clear like a little child's. God had healed Naaman's leprosy, and the prophet would not even take the gold and silver Naaman had brought. 2 Kings 5, 1-16. Character objective. Concerned. To want to help one another. The little maid of Israel wanted to help her master. She wanted him to be well of the awful disease. She truly loved God, and that made her want to help other people. She did what our memory verse says, didn't she? She was bearing another's burdens with great affection and admiration. Galatians 6, 2a. Bear ye one another's burdens. Galatians 6, 2a. Bear ye one another's burdens. Galatians 6, 2a. Bear ye one another's burdens. Say it with me. Galatians 6, 2a. Bear ye one another's burdens. One more time. Galatians 6, 2a. Bear ye one another's burdens.
Kangaroo reads k, k, k. Kay reads